In Delaware, Delaware means the Delaware is the man of war. So the Delaware was colonized by the European because the Delaware was the people who helped them gain their independence. It was called the Lenape Moors. The Lenape Moors was the ones who helped these Europeans form their government. He was the first ones to sign a treaty with them. But they couldn't give them a nation because they wasn't had the authority to do so. So the Europeans had to go to the Moroccan Sultan. And under the emperor, he wasn't a sultan back then, he was an emperor. It's the difference between the sultan and the emperor. So the emperor at that time, he signed the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. And that's what gave them their nation. And then we gave them this American flag so they can have their independence. So let's start this meeting. Let the Moors come in. Excuse me, man. I'm battling sickness of virus right now. I was laid out yesterday. Couldn't get up. Still kind of. I've been taking my CMAL. I haven't been taking it every day now, but I'm starting back taking it. All right, let's open up. AGS, you want to open up with the divine constitution bylaws for me?
I think the other day I was searching for it about 5-10 minutes.
All right, take this one. Everybody rise for the reading of the divine constitution bylaws.
Salvation, our law, unity, the moral science temple of America, the divine constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the moral science temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the prophet and the grand body of the moral science temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is normal for the members of the Moral Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause Friday is a holy day for all marvels all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moral Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed that they may know that they are a part and a partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained over Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah.
Go ahead into the prayer right there, too. Spread your wings, 5 to the left, 2 to the right. Pray for these for the Moorish American prayer.
Moorish American prayer. Allah,
Allah,
the Father of the universe,
the Father of the universe,
Allah, the Father of the universe,
the Father of love,
the Father of love,
truth,
peace,
freedom,
freedom,
and justice.
and justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector,
my God, and my salvation,
and my salvation,
by night,
night,
and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen.
You will be seated. So I'm going to rise and give perfect praise to Allah, the Almighty, Eternal, Incomprehensible, the Author, Creator, and Governor of the world. Chapter 35 of the Moorish Science Temple of America Quran tell us that Allah instituted laws of government for the world. So Allah is where all these laws come from. Noble Drew Ali, high honors to Noble Drew Ali. The great God of the universe ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to teach our people their nationality and divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government. The last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, but there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by Allah, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare and meet the coming prophet. And his name is Marcus Garvey. High honors to our John the Baptist, Marcus Garvey. And to the Moabites from the land of Moab, who are the founders and the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire. Which your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt and contradiction. This is the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And to our Moroccan flag, this all red flag. The 5 points represent the highest principles known to man. Truth, peace, freedom, and justice for all. And when these principles are not carried out, the justice must take its course. This Moroccan flag is the oldest flag on this earth. 10,000 years old. There's no flag older than our ancient forefathers' flag that we honor and we still fly today. All honors to our flag. And all honors to this American flag that we gave to these Europeans so they can have access to do business on our land, so they can free themselves from the tyranny that they was under for Great Britain. This red, white, and blue flag with the white 5-pointed green stars that also represent the 5 known principles, highest principles known to man. With these flags, we are the Moorish Americans. All honors to our holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of American Circumcision, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Juali, by the guidance of his father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his simple and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God, Allah. So I want to get honest to those things, because those things have to be honored. Because without these things, we will have no knowledge of who he is today. Islam, Islam, Islam. So just continue on what we were saying about some things. What the prophet spoke on, you read through that Moorish literature, the divine warning. This divine warning is very important. The prophet said the word Negro alludes in the Latin language to the word nigger. The same as the word color alludes to anything that's painted, varnished, and dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers. Because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizens of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. So what does the prophet mean by that? What did he mean? Why did he bring up the word nigger and the word colored and the word Negro?
Those are the names that allude to slavery and that we have been classified under.
Exactly.
And a lot of us don't know that we are Moorish American.
Exactly. Exactly. And you got this thing called colored law. So by us deluding ourselves to slavery, we put ourselves under the colored law. See, that colored law is artificial law. Because the word color means anything that's painted, varnished, or dyed. So this wall was painted, right? So that makes this an artificial color, the true color of the wall. So that's what they did with the law and our nationality. They painted it. They covered it up. Why do they do this? Take us out of our inheritance. Because it says, every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers. Honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened on this earth. What does that mean? When you honor a name, that means you go by the name. And that ties you into your inheritance. That ties you into the contracts they left for you. The estates they left for you. It's called a will. Our forefathers left us a will. It's called a treaty. They left us an estate. That's our land. And our rights to the land. Our title is El and Bay. That ties us back to their titles. Because that's what they went on. El and Bay. It's not a new name. This is ancient names. These fezzes and turbans ain't nothing new. These are ancient. So when we honor our forefathers, we come under the protection of the treaties, under protection of our land rights, our estate. We protected by that. That's why it means your days will be lengthened on this earth. Because if you don't honor them, then you're going to be doing some days in jail. You're going to be doing some days in slavery. You're going to be doing some days behind bars. You're not going to be on this earth. See, it's two earths. It's two worlds in here. It's the artificial world and the real world. See, the artificial world is that color world, that colony they got us under. Then you got the real world. The real world is we've been here for millions of years. And we got certain rights, immunities, and privileges that's been taken from us by us not honoring our fathers and our mothers. But we never knew our fathers and mothers, so we didn't do it voluntarily. We didn't do it voluntarily. We do it out of darkness, out of ignorance. Because out of darkness, they was able to keep us away from our true identities and give us some identities. Negro, black, and colored, Mexican, Latino, Native American, Indian, Spanish, Latin. I can name a few more. But by you calling yourself these names, you put yourself on the color law. So the prophet came to warn us to get back into the constitutional law of thinking. He said, in this warning, he said something else that was very crucial. He said, I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own free national divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. Then he said this, if Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim a free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. So why did he name these 7 nations? Because these are the people you call Americans. They took on our titles. You got the English over here, Italians and Greeks, calling themselves American. But who the true American? They not American. They Italian, Greek, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians. But these are the groups of people who run America, North America at least. Then we see the Chinese just put their own police station out here. Why we ain't got our own Morris American police station? It's definitely on the way. It's on the way. Cause like the prophet say, it's more genius citizens right now. He said he believed in this administration of the government being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitutional laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers. So what's the classes of citizens he speak on? He said classes of citizens. So you got national citizens, you got naturalized citizens, you got a subject citizen, and you got the alien, who's not a citizen. But these are the 4 classes of citizens that the prophet was speaking on. Now we the nationals, because we the ones with the nationality and the birthright of this land. We was born here, and we descended from here. The prophet said in a 101 questionnaire, right here, he said, key 14, it says, why are we Moorish American? Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. We weren't brought here on no slave ship. We're descendants of the people who was first inhabited this land. So in law, that's called birth, that's called the law of blood, which is just sanguineness, and just soleil, which is Latin terms for the law of the birth, where you birthed at. So if you're born somewhere, you can become a citizen there. Don't make you American. So if a European was born here, he can be a naturalized citizen. And that's why we gave him this flag. That's why we gave the United States of America government to naturalize them. Not to nationalize, because they can never be the nationalized citizen. Then you got the subject citizen, which is the United States of America Corporation. And all other corporations under that. See, a corporation is a citizen too. So what they did with us is made us a subject citizen. They took us out of our national status and put us in the subject status. That's called subject matter jurisdiction. So they put us on a subject matter jurisdiction. You got 3 jurisdictions I talk about in that book. You got that copy of the book. You see that? You got three jurisdictions I talk about in this book right here. You got in personam jurisdiction. That means you, your person, your national status. You got subject matter jurisdiction. That means property. Then you got territorial jurisdiction. That means the land where you at. So they claiming jurisdiction on all 3 of these things. They ain't got jurisdiction on territory, in personam, or subject matter. But they created statutory law to make them have subject matter jurisdiction. Then they got you to think that this land is the United States of America. So that's how they claim a territorial jurisdiction. Then they got you to think that you're a resident of Texas. So now they claim a personal jurisdiction over you. Jurisdiction is the right of law, legal power, and authority to hear and decide cases. And is conjoined with the power to execute the laws for administering justice. Jurisdiction is that proper power and right of exercising authority. So they exercising authority over us by color of law, by darkness and ignorance. So that's what we're here for, to bring our people out of this darkness and ignorance that we under. We got to come up out of this. And we going to come up out of this because we more genius. The prophet said it 100 years ago. He said he believed in us. He believed that we going to find a true divine way of our forefathers. And it's coming true. Got the little baby in here. That's what it's for. It's for our children. If we institute this sovereign government, our children can live free one day. They won't have to go through the pain and suffering we going through. We can change their future. And we can make a better future for ourselves as well. But if we don't do nothing, then guess what's going to happen? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So it's on us. It's on us to take this lessons, this literature, learn it, and put into action. Take it off the paper. The paper, this books don't mean nothing if we don't live it. We got to live this by educating ourselves on these matters. Because we all got, everybody in here, including me, we all got court problems right now. Because the Moorish Science Temple of America has not been instituted on this land property. Count on y'all. That's one position. Grand Sheik is empowered to make and enforce laws. But what with the assistance of the prophet in the grand body? So I can't do it by myself. I need assistance from a grand body. Been at this for 1 year. October 15th made my 1 year anniversary. So it's on us. It's on each one of us to take responsibility and put ourselves in position to be government officials. Because the prophet said in the Constitution, by being Moorish American, you are a part of this government and must live your life accordingly. But see, we ain't never been part of no government. This is my first year being part of a government. Been in other groups. I done been in gangs. I done been to the penitentiary. But I ain't never been a part of a sovereign government. So it's going to take a while to condition my mind to live my life accordingly to it. Because I've been under Catholic rulership for over 30 years of my life. I've been putting I've been putting my liberty in the hands of the oppressor for 30 years. Wonder why I'm getting the short end of the stick. Now it's time for me to step up. It's time for all of us to step up. If we don't step up, who gonna do it? Who else out here gonna teach us our nationality and divine creed and gonna teach us these laws to enforce out here? Ain't nobody else gonna do it. And high and low looking for a Grand Sheik like me. Be honest. I done been high and low. I done been in all 50 states. Ain't out there. Jesus is you. Each one of y'all is Jesus. Jesus means justice according to our one-on-one questionnaire. You got to be your own justice. The prophet said, I gave you everything it's going to take to save a nation. Take it and save yourself with it. Because when you in that jail, who else going to save you? You can call your woman. She can try to come up with some bail money. You can call your family, try to come up with some bail money. But what happens when they tell you, man, we ain't giving you no bail? What happens when you got to stand on this by yourself? It's on us to become competent at law, what they call it. So we can defend ourselves and our babies. And I just got a call from Chicago today. My son in jail. Call me. Only thing I can do is send bail money. What can I truly do? You got to do for yourself. You got yourself in there. You got to get yourself out of there. You in there signing paperwork. You in there going according to their European laws and things like that. You not knowing how to challenge jurisdiction properly. Only thing I can do is try to teach you, but if you don't listen, it's going to be like my son. And it's a sad day for me, but it's the truth. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to say, okay, the Grand Sheik can just save you from everything. You got to save yourself out here. I can prepare the paperwork, but you got to defend the paperwork. You're competent enough to stand in front of that European and tell him you ain't got no jurisdiction over me. And have confidence and truth to say that. Did it? Plenty of time. And continue to do it. He ain't going to kill you. He ain't going to lock you up. He going to respect you. He going to actually respect you. He respect me. The Europeans in the state of Texas respect me. They roll out the red carpet because they know the truth. They know more about the Moors than we do. Europeans come up and tell me, man, look, y'all people ruled our people. But we don't even know the history of that. So it's on us. Let's go into the Black's Law Dictionary. Let's look up color of law. Any of y'all got any questions? Like going to this.
Hey, no,
Islam.
I was gonna say, like, what I put in the group, that we're indoctrinated to think that our history started with slavery. That's why all of our people are unaware or not open-minded to what happened beforehand, because we're always taught that we started with slavery. So we got to introduce to our people as more to us than just slavery. And that's where it comes in with the Moor Science Temple to put us back in our rightful place. But it comes from the information.
Beautiful. That's absolutely right. Because the slavery made us like dependents, like children. That's why they call us minors at law. So I'm going to read the definition of color of law. Color of law: the appearance or semblance without the substance of legal right, misuse of power, possessed by virtue of state law. Y'all hear that? State law. And made possibly only because wrongdoer is clothed with authority of state. Is action taken under color of state law. That's followed by a citation. Citation means case law. So that's actually a Supreme Court ruling that said that. State law is the color of law. Y'all hear that? So when you talk about the color of law, what we talking about? State law. State of Texas versus you. That's the color of law. It's the semblance of law. Semblance means that something resembles something, looks just like it, but it's not it. State law looks just like the United States Constitution, but it's not the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution is supreme law of the land, not the state law. This is Black Law Dictionary telling you this. The state law is the color of law. But how many of us knew that? We ain't know that. I'm going to continue reading. When used in the context of federal civil rights, statutes, or criminal law, the term is synonymous with the concept of state action. Under the 14th Amendment, that's followed by citation. So this is what Judge is telling you. That anytime you want to, with a state action means a case. So any state case you under is the color of law. I'm going to continue reading. It means pretense of law and includes actions of officers who undertake to perform their official duties, followed by citation. Action taken by private individuals may be under color of state law for purposes of 42 U.S.C.A. subsection 1983, governing deprivation of civil rights when significant state involvement attaches to action. So do y'all know what 42 U.S.C. 1983 is? Okay, that's the title you use. That's the code you use. That's the title you use to take the state to court. So anytime you catch a state case, the first thing you should do, never get a lawyer. First, challenge the jurisdiction. Then you remove the case to federal court under that title. 42 USC 1983. 42 USC 1983. That's called the Deprivation of Rights under the color of law. Deprivation of rights under color of law. I took them to court plenty of times.
Deprivation of rights.
Deprivation of rights under color of state law. More Keon's will pull it up. Pull it up on one of y'all. Pull up on your phone.
No, but you know I'm ready to take them, right?
That's where you're gonna get your justice at. Because state law is the color of law. So the color of law means they deprive you of your rights. Yep, 42 USC 1983. Islam, Michael Gills, L, Courtney. Islam, peace and love.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Hold on, I'm trying to get something situated here. With this phone hooked up to this car because I'm traveling.
Hello. So, well. One of y'all got it pulled up? Yeah. Can you read it off for me?
Every person who under color of
We'll read the title too.
42 U.S.C. Code 1983, civil action for the deprivation of rights. Every person who under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia subject or causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or other person
subject
within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, and immunities secured by the Constitution and laws shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit, in equity, or other proper proceedings for redress, except that any action brought against a judicial officer for act or omission taken in such officer's judicial capacity, injunctive relief shall not be granted unless and declaratory decree was violated or declaratory relief was unavailable. For the purpose of this section and any act of Congress applicable exclusively to the District of Columbia shall be considered to be a statute of District of Columbia. And then it goes into the U.S. Code.
So 42 USC, the deprivation of rights. Deprivation means you've been deprived. You've been deprived of your rights under color of law. They gave you a way out, a remedy to it. And that's that code.
So you really necessarily, if any case, if you just had knowledge of that, you can dissolve any case.
But you can't. Only way you can do it is you got a nationality. That's the only kick to it.
So you can go in there and be a regular U.S. citizen, though, because technically you don't have any right.
Because they got the 11th Amendment. The Black's Law Dictionary. I got it right.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, matter of fact, look up the 11th Amendment. Look up the 11th Amendment.
Does the 11th Amendment restrict the ability of individuals to bring suit against states in federal court?
That's a summary of it, but that's not the 11th Amendment.
You want to put that?
Yeah, the actual 11th Amendment. But that's the summary of it. So a U.S. citizen or a state resident can't sue. You can't file a claim against the state.
Is it about the judicial power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Passed by Congress March 4, 1794, ratified February 7, 1795. It says the judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state.
So, as showing you right there, if you're the state of Texas and you're a resident, you can't sue the state of Texas. You can't take them to court because you're a resident.
That's why we have to answer those questions. Why we answer them right? Where you did, where you died in the flesh.
They got that. They recording it too.
And then your paperwork, you got to be on record as a Moorish American, part of a foreign state. If you don't have nationality, then that's what it means by being on the color of law. That's what it means. You have no rights. They deprive you of rights. They only made that statute 42 USC 1983 for the Moorish Americans. Truthfully. We the only ones in their court. The Chinese not in their court. Italians and Greeks and Arabians not in their court. Why? Because they got consulates out here. And truth be told, that's the reason why the Chinese put their police out here, because Donald Trump entered their consulate when he was in office. A lot of people don't remember that. Their consulate was right here in Houston. That's why I got the newspaper article of it. And Houston hold over 100, some of the major consulates of all the nations right here in Houston. Everybody got a consulate. That means an international court. Everybody got an international court except black people. So we got to establish our own.
You mean like black people or so-called?
So-called black people. And so I call them black people because that's what they claim to be. And I'm going to call you what you want to be called. I'm not going to fight against you. You want to be black, I'm going to let you be black. You want to be a Moor, I'm going to let you be a Moor. I can't change who you are. You can't change who you are. Allah only one can change who you are. But whoever, because it's a thing called verbal contract. And a contract's period. Whatever you sign your name on, you held to. Whatever you agree to, consent to, you are held to. That's why they say, when they pull you over, the first thing they say is what? Whatever you say can and will be used against you.
Or do.
Not say whatever you say. Say, because jurisdiction means what you say. Juris means law, and diction means words. Diction is short for dictionary. So whatever you say will and can be used against you, because that's called verbal contracts. So when they get to asking you questions, what they call an interview, then you held by how you answer them. The trick is to never answer their questions. That's the trick. You're supposed to ask them questions. Because whoever asking questions is acting as the king for the situation. So the trick is for you to ask them, first of all, do you got a warrant? You want to search my name, you want my ID? You have to have a search warrant to search my name. That's what the law say. You detained me, am I free to go right now? If I'm not free to go, then that's an arrest. This is false imprisonment. Do you have an arrest warrant? I'm not making this up. Look at the Fourth Amendment. Let's look at the Fourth Amendment, everybody. Somebody read that for me when they find it.
The right of the people to be secured in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and
seizures
shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized.
Right there, plain as day. You have the right to be secure in your person's house, papers, and effects. So you want my license? You want my ID? Or you supposed to have a search warrant? It says it shall not be violated. That means there's no option. Shall means, when they put shall in law, that means you ain't got no option. It shall not be violated. And no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause. So that means there have been probable cause, then the warrant issue. And then it says supported by oath and affirmation. So the probable cause have to have support. So they can't say I pulled you over, I got probable cause because I smell weed. Exactly. Or I got probable cause because you was speeding. Where's the oath of affirmation? See, oath of affirmation means a notarized affidavit. That's what oath of affirmation clause means here. So where's the affidavit that supports your probable cause? So an affidavit got to be written by what? Somebody with an injury. Somebody is claiming damages against you. Like if you rob this brother, and this brother writes an affidavit saying you robbed him, now he's seeking damages. That would be an oath of affirmation. Because somebody has to swear to the penalty of perjury that they telling the truth. Because you can't just make a false report against somebody. But as not understanding these things, they violate this Fourth Amendment. They just pull you over and just go in on you. Because what you say, you ain't enforcing the Constitution. You ain't asking for a search warrant, arrest warrant. You ain't asking him to identify himself. They make you identify yourself like you committed a crime. Didn't tell you committed a crime. But they truly don't know. That's the thing about police officers. They don't know the law. They don't read. You think they studying this? You think right now, Saturday night, they studying this Constitution? You know they ain't. Yes, you know they ain't studying no Constitution. What they doing is they following the orders of their commandments. That's what they trained to do. They got a job. They wasn't elected officials. See, the elected officials is the sheriffs. Them the ones who have to go through a series of tests to learn the law and the Constitution. But these police, they went to police academy. They learned how to shoot, how to run with a bulletproof vest on. What's a constable? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because what's a stable?
What's a stable?
What's a stable? I know you know. You from Texas.
Yeah, I'm going to get my knowledge.
Exactly. Now, don't the constables post ride horses?
Yeah.
That's what a constable truly is. They the ones that maintain the horses. They not the Sharifian. What's the police? You know what police mean?
Policy
That's French.
enforcement.
That's French for policy. Policia. Policia. That's French word.
In American law, an officer of a municipal corporation, usually elected, whose duties are similar to those of the sheriff, though his powers are less and his jurisdiction smaller. He is to preserve the public peace, execute the process of magistrate, court, and of some other tribunal, serve writ, attend the sessions of the criminal court, have the custody of juries, and the discharge of other functions sometimes assigned to him by the local law or by statute. Alloy versus Wayne County, 43, Michigan, 72. In English law, a public civil officer whose proper and general duty is to keep the peace within his district, though he is frequently charged with additional duties. There are high, petty, and special constables. In medieval law, a high functionary under the French and English kings.
They call him petty. They call him petty in here. Wow.
In medieval law, a high functionary under the French and English kings, the dignity and importance of whose office was second only to that of the monarch. He was in general the leader of the royal army and had cognizance of all matters pertaining to war and arms, exercising both civil and military jurisdiction. He was also charged with the conservation of the peace of the nation. Thus, there was a constable of France and a Lord High Constable of England.
So
you see a lot of them boys around here. Now, you don't even see the sheriff moving like that no more, really.
Because this is where all the horses are. They petty. They the petty out. They the ones who come take the horse and move the horse around, make sure the horses is ready for us. They the ones, it says they're a civil officer. A civil officer. Not a law officer. A civil. That means they're a corporation officer. It says they're an officer of the municipal corporation. Municipal corporation means a government corporation. That means like United States of America is a municipal corporation. It's in the form, it's structured like a government, but it's just a corporation. They don't have the powers and duties of a sheriff. But now they let them interchange it with a sheriff because nobody's enforcing them against them. They usually elected, but a lot of them not elected. I think out here they do get elected. I'm not sure about that, but I think they get elected out here. Yeah.
My knowledge is say they go there when they can't pass the register.
Oh, see?
I got people not enforcing. They go to the sheriff when they can't pass the HPD and the sheriff.
Right.
That's what I'm saying here. Elected in parentheses.
Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. So you got to look at, you got the sheriff's department. That's an entity, right? Then you got the police department. That's a separate entity, right? Then you got the constable department. These are three separate bodies. So like he say, when you can't make these other two bodies, then they send you to the constable. So you gotta understand, like, which one of them is supreme? The sheriff. The sheriff is the only constitutional elected official. The rest of them is just basically got a job.
And do that technically by definition make him higher than the trooper? If he don't win his constitution?
I forgot about the trooper, the state trooper department. Yeah. Now the state trooper, the state trooper got a separate jurisdiction because they call it the highway patrolman. So state troopers only on highways. Well, they supposed to be, I should say.
But it's probably why they made 1960 that main highway now.
That's what they do. So they can call any street a highway because what's a highway?
Yeah, they definitely made
a highway is an artificial word they made up to put jurisdiction over.
State trooper pull you over in the city too, though. I think it's highway.
Yeah.
I guess you think that anything called highway.
Yeah, because if they make a street called a highway, then they got you.
Game warden.
You say what?
Game warden.
Gang wards?
Game warden.
Oh, gang warden. What's that?
You know, like the police over like hunters and illegal.
Oh, gang, like, yeah, gang. Oh, yeah.
They say they got more jurisdiction than the state trooper.
Yeah, because they all got a separate jurisdiction within the state. It depends on how the state constitution delegate the authorities to them. Because the state truly don't got no power to have no police. That's why the Chinese come over and have power, police power. Because the state, we don't supposed to be policed by these people.
And they're enforcing international law and treaty right to be able to do that properly.
Yeah, because the Chinese got a nationality. They claim to be Chinese. They don't claim to be yellow people. We call them yellow people. They don't go around and say we yellow. We the only ones go around and say we black. They never claim to be yellow. They say I'm Chinese. And I'm a part of the Chinese government. And they got their own Chinatown. They don't fall under the color of law.
So really, referring back to the states registering as a corporation, it makes sense of why I want to say two different things. It makes sense of why we paying different taxes in different states, gas be different prices. We really pretty much paying their taxes. We paying out their debt, their corporation debt, in a sense.
Well, our taxes go to support, yeah. It don't even go to them. It goes straight to the Vatican. So we basically supporting our own oppression by funding the Vatican. So like in church, they tell you it's 10% tithes. So that's why our taxes is 10%, because it's just ties to the church. But the Roman Catholic churches who we go to, because all counties is called a county tax, right? So like you say, you go in this county, tax different. Go in that county, tax different. The counties is ran by the archdiocese. Like even in Louisiana, they call the county a parish. So that shows you who really running these counties. If you get into real estate law, when you look into feudal law began with the popes and the priests starting real estate. So what they did was this. They gave every priest a section of the land in real estate law in the medieval times. Then the Pope turned that section into a county. He gave all the people land, but there was only one catch. they had to pay rent. But it wasn't no Federal Reserve notes, wasn't no silver and gold. They had to pay in servitude to the army. So a tenant is defined as a member of the army or the military. That's what a tenant is. So if you remember, like medieval movies and times, they call them lords and tenants. So the lord would be the priest. Now you call him the landlord. They haven't changed. They just put another spin to it. So the landlords is the archdioceses. So all, like, even you buy land, say if your people own land, who they pay their tax to? The county. Even if you buy off the house, you still got to pay county tax because the county is claiming landlord. And you just a tenant. That's why they can draft us to the military. And they don't draft us to the military. This next war that's going to kick off, they're going to be drafting all the brothers. That's what the prophet even said in all the statements. He said it's going to be one day when you ain't going to see a man walking down the street. He said a child going to run up to his mother and say, Mom, today I seen a man outside. What the prophet said. I believe him. His prophecy's been coming true. But that's what real estate is based upon. Tenant, which is a member of the military, and then you pay taxes to the county. Usually it's 10%, sometimes more than that, of what they assess the land. So what they do is a land assessment. So they send out the tax assessor, who is an agent of the county, and he comes and look at how valuable the land is, and then he taxes you based upon that. So if they found value in the land, like they discover oil or some gold, then they raise the taxes to get you off the land. That's called eminent domain. And that's what they've been doing to us. So the taxes is going straight to the Vatican, but it's going through the county first. And then then they collect all the taxes from the county and go straight to the Vatican. That's how the Pope, the most powerful person on the earth. And you got two popes. You got the black Pope, who wear the black robe, and you got the white robe Pope. Look him up on your phone. Type in a black Pope. He the highest of the land because he really a part of what they call the Jesuit order, the order of the Jesuits. That's the ones that hide behind the name of Jesus.
Play ball against straight Jesuit.
But the school here called Jesuit.
Jesuit, straight Jesuit. It's a private school.
Yeah, right on. It's on the south side, ain't it?
I couldn't see what.
Yeah, it's on the south west. I seen it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They got the Jesuit school. They all the Catholics. You notice every Catholic, they got their own schools. You don't see no Baptist schools, no other type of Christian schools, but the Catholic.
What do you think, Pius? Is that one religious or not?
Saint what?
St. Pius, is that a religious school?
Yeah, that's Catholic.
Catholic.
Mm-hmm. All the saint schools is Catholic. Saint Pius, Saint Philip, Saint Columbanus, Saint Ignatius. They even got Catholic colleges.
Christian school, nothing Christian.
But that's even Catholic. Why you think they got their own schools? And their schools is better than the public school. So y'all got any questions? We're gonna conclude this meeting. My head pound. Let me see that book. Sotomayor's new book.
Yeah, with that though, they got
It's
it
the new
ready.
book. Probably seen it.
Delaware, that is.
Passing around more. Yeah, they registered all with state of Delaware. And then they registered in the state of Puerto Rico.
Registered in the state of Puerto Rico.
Because they went bankrupt in Delaware.
So what's Delaware?
See, United States went bankrupt 3-4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they bankrupt, they create a new entity and go to another and register somewhere else.
So what are they doing now that what is it, Japan stop buying all the bonds?
All the world nations stop buying the bonds. But that's more dealing with student loans, mortgages, car notes. And the birth certificate.
You don't think none of that have to do with incarceration?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah,
that too. Yeah, that too. But I'm just saying I don't deal with most of the schools. It deals with the bond system, like you say, the jail bonds, mortgage bonds, the student loans. They do what you call an ABS.
How you think that's going to affect the system as far as just incarceration alone? Speaking about incarceration alone.
Oh, they already. You see in Illinois what they did?
Oh yeah, like the first purge.
January 1st,
yeah,
they ended bonds.
And they let people up. It's like calling it the first purge. Then they're gonna stop answering the phone calls to like robberies, just like on the purge. The robberies.
They still gonna lock you up because they not letting go of. See, they're not letting go of the color of law.
Have you seen that though? They said that they're not answering the phone on that day.
No, I ain't
So
seen
like for
that.
these specific charges, just like they did on the purge, for these specific charges, we're not answering the phone. Don't call.
No, I ain't seen that. But they still gonna.
Type of purge. It's a purge on both ends. Though. The purge on the victim. Then when it comes to the one that's doing the act or whatnot, when they get caught, that's still going back where they came from in the first place as well.
See, what you gotta look at too. All right, go to 9th Amendment. Look at the 9th Amendment so you can understand what they're doing. So they're really trying to return things back. 8th Amendment. I'm sorry, 8th Amendment. Look at the 8th Amendment.
Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fine imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted.
Yeah, go all the way to the back. Yours, like the last couple pages. Yours ain't in there. I'm all of it in the back. Yeah, you see that? Now you see it says excessive bail shall not be required, right? So that was already constitutional law to not have bonds. So they try to return it back to the constitutional law. See, when you get arrested, you're supposed to be released immediately. You're not supposed to sit in jail for excessive bail.
Yeah.
You're supposed to wait till your court date, make it to your court date. And then if you was convicted, then you can be punished.
Not guilty
until proven innocent.
Yeah.
But see, what they did was reverse that. They got you doing punishment before you convicted. So it's gonna have a trickle down effect of a purge, but it's not truly their intention. It's part of their intention, but it's like the Wild Wild West days.
Not ignorant, really.
You remember how the sheriff had he barely had control of the town in the old Wild West movies, right? Everybody had to pretty much fend for themselves. Like if you want to have a shootout with somebody, it was illegal.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's going to come back to. But, you know what I'm saying? But that's the constitutional way of doing things, according to the 8th Amendment. Excessive bail should not be required. So what they did was a bail and bond is two different things in the first place.
Yeah.
A bail is a cash deposit for the bond. So they're making you pay a deposit for your own bond. And then they take the bond and then sell it to the IMF. So they have to end that because nobody buying them anyway. But it's gonna have a trickle down effect where they can use it to their favor, of course. But there's nothing you never supposed to pay bonds, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted. He's never supposed to be bonded out of jail. That's why if you look in,
so when it says like nor excessive fines, basically if you do a crime you're not supposed to pay for it like money wise. You're supposed to like do the time for the crime, right?
Well, not necessarily. You do supposed to pay for the crime, but it says excessive fine. So that means that if the crime only was 1,000, they can't charge you 100,000 for it. That's excessive. So only time you're supposed to go to jail is to pay your debt to society, right? So if you was poor, then you're supposed to go to jail because you can't pay off the debt. So just like they were sent over here from, why was they sent over here from Europe? The Europeans were sent over here to pay off their debts. So they had to work the colony. They wasn't just regular people that were sent over here. They was the criminals. They was the ones doing jail time. And they were sent over here to work off their debt. That's why they was getting mistreated over here by the European government, Great Britain. Because they was the poor people. So like habeas corpus, Article 4 says that a habeas corpus shall never be suspended. So habeas corpus was the ancient way you get out of jail. Like if you go to jail and then you can't pay the bond, you're supposed to put a habeas corpus in. You're never supposed to pay a bond or a bill.
Question, speaking on that, can you get my money back?
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to get your bond money back.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to get every dollar back for your bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're supposed to get every dollar back for your bond, for sure. The all-state constitution had an habeas corpus clause. That's because you ain't never supposed to pay no bill, no bond to get out.
Speaking on the, they call it Turkish American, Italian American. I've really heard like eavesdropped and heard them have conversations, and they get happy to mug when they actually get that citizenship or that status.
You said who?
Turkish Americans, Italian Americans, or
Oh yeah.
They rejoice about that status for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And how long it takes to get it. I definitely didn't talk about it.
Yeah, because everybody want to come over here. Also, it's Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution.
It make it look good to come over here, process a real legitimate corporation, make bread off of it.
Yeah. So, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2 says the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it.
Section what?
Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2. It was habeas corpus. It's always been released off of habeas corpus. If you was withheld in jail after you was convicted. So what they doing always been unconstitutional. So you're gonna see a lot of this stuff happen, like they're gonna start releasing people out of jail. They're gonna start reversing the laws you see in Indiana.
Mm-hmm. How they can, tell law that
you can shoot the cup police for false imprisonment.
Yeah, that's wild.
But keep in mind, Wild West days.
Yeah,
the sheriff ain't got no power like that. The police ain't got the power we gave them. Now they finna strip that power from the police.
It's like talking deep from the police, deep from.
Because we supposed to self-govern ourselves.
The state is pushing, a lot of states are pushing deep from.
Supposed to always self-govern ourselves. This should never been a situation where we got Europeans on our land governing us. You don't see no Europeans in China governing Chinese people. In fact, they done put their police over here now. And now you're going to see that come everywhere over here. They're going to have police stations. Chinese going to have police stations in all states where they got a Chinatown at.
Already in New York, so they definitely coming.
And that's the biggest city.
They don't play the game.
And in Canada. And other places across the world they instituted too. It's not a violation of international law because that's how it's supposed to be.
So our question, the embassy, my bad, y'all gotta leave, but the embassies outside the consulate, or this one and the same?
That's just pretty much the same thing. The consulate is just where the consul's stationed. And the embassy can be where the consuls and diplomats and other international officers be stationed. Yeah, it's like a building.
Still run by the consulate.
Well, it's ran by the government. Even the consulate ran by the government.
We are that government, but yeah.
So the consulate is just like somebody to help you with, like when you're dealing with the other government, like they trying to charge you with some crimes or something like that. The embassy help you with everything. So if like you was another country and say you got robbed and lost your money, and you ain't got no money to eat, they'll feed you. They'll give you money over there. That's why we truly got to still use our U.S. passports. Because we ain't got no embassies nowhere. So when you go into these other countries, who's going to help you out?
We helped out.
Exactly. We did help them out. And they got a duty to uphold to us. That's why we always honor this flag. Because we gave them what they got today. If it weren't for us, they would still been robbed on the sea. Oh, Hillary. Oh, yeah. Yep. Said the first nation to recognize our nation was the Moroccan Empire.
She said that?
Mm-hmm.
She said?
Oh, yeah. Her and Obama.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They said that.
Talking about when she had pain, I think she had on the blue one. She had set. They had both flags in the back. And Obama came in and had the guys in the back, I think they had guns. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you're talking
about. Yep. But no speeches ever get spoke from. That was the first time they opened up that room. Only person been there was the Prophet Noble Ali.
Oh, the flag is still in there? Still being different in there?
The Moroccan flag in there. That's the only. It's like three of them. It's like three, because I think it's 6 flags altogether. They got a section out. But only person who that was in there was Noble Ali. He went in there first.
Why was the market flag in Ben Franklin?
Because Ben Franklin was a plenipotentiary. As he was given authority to represent the United States from the Moroccan Empire.
Represent the United States from the Moroccan Empire?
He was one of the representatives that signed the treaty. He's in a treaty of peace and friendship. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and who else was it? One George Washington. Barclay was he was a translator. He wasn't there, but he was the official translator because it was written in Arabic.
So they have some sort of authority compared to that? They was given some type of power?
Yeah, they was given authority to be representation.
Okay.
Like representative authority, like diplomats. They was the diplomats.
So what happens when they have kids? Do they have any?
No.
It's them themselves.
Yeah, they was just the diplomats at that time to represent the new nation called the United States of America. Okay. So they was able to be the ones that we're gonna speak for the rest of our members when they was dealing with the Emperor of Morocco. Because that's how you do government. You have the representatives come. You're not gonna have all the members come show up. Thousands of people show up just to sign a treaty. You got to elect representatives to go speak for us. And they got to follow the duties of what we say as people. But yeah, that's what it was. We're going to conclude this meeting, though. It's 8:54. We're going to conclude it. Read from the Prophet. What you say?
Right on time.
As always, man. Always on time. HDS, you want to close this out with the warning?
Real quick. We got Sunday school tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to have Sunday school tomorrow.
All right, cool.
26, HDS.
26. To be proclaimed at every meeting is wrong. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me in the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all of these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds, the ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moors movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my work, which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet knows it already.
Islam. We're going to close out with that. If you need to get up with me, Michael Gilles here. Hit me on the regular line.